Hey, everybody, we're here with the Bariatric Support Group, sponsored by ProCare Health, and we want to welcome all of you. It looks like we got quite a few people already on the call. So if you're out there, shout out. It looks like some of you have already done that, and we'll acknowledge that here in just a second. But first of all, we're going to kind of introduce ourselves. My name is Brenda, and I'll tell you more about myself here in just a second. We have Brittany and Erin. Brittany, go right ahead. Introduce yourself.
Hi guys. If you've been on some of these support groups, then you might already be a little bit familiar with me because I've been doing them with Brenda. But yeah, I do some marketing work for ProCare, but I also help out with the support groups. So I'm really excited to be here with you guys. And Merry Christmas too, since it's so close. And if you don't know, we have something special for this group. So I'm going to hand it off to Erin.
Hi everyone. So I'm Erin. I work at ProCare. I've been here about 10 years. I do a lot of behind the scenes stuff, including marketing and just all kinds of stuff. So tonight, for everyone who attend as part of our 12 days of gifting, we have this awesome basket of goodies.
Yeah.
That someone is going to win who has joined us and comments. We're going to leave it open in case anybody has to jump out and come back in. We're going to do the drawing on Monday, and then we'll contact you either through your email or social media, probably both, whatever we can, and then we'll just get it mailed out to you. So it's pretty awesome. It's got our chocolate in there, which everybody loves.
Oh gosh,
and then some goodies. There's some wireless earbuds. Those are so cool right now. Some of our new chapstick, which is amazing, just by the way. Some hand sanitizers, some caramels, just all kinds of goodies. And then in my opinion, a super sweet little basket.
That is cute.
Oh yeah. So that's really all I had to say. I think it's going to be a great support group, and I'm glad that you're all here joining us. And I'm going to hand it back to Brenda.
Okay, wonderful. So if you are listening live, comment in the chat box. If you're listening to the replay, we're going to give it till, when did you say, Erin?
How about midnight on Sunday?
Midnight on Sunday, Central Standard Time, to comment. And so we'll be watching. Erin's going to be, she jumped on just to say hi and show us the basket. So she's going to be going back to work. She works late
very
in
busy.
the evenings. She is very busy right now. So thank you, Erin, for joining us, and I appreciate you being here. Okay. Thank you.
Bye, ladies.
Okay, so she's going off, and I want to also say there is an Ask a Question button. At the end of this call, we're going to be taking a bunch of questions and see how we can help you. We've got 3 already there, so feel free to add to those. And it looks like here, I want to welcome those people that are on the call. It looks like we've had several people that's commented already. We have Elizabeth. She said she has gastric bypass on 4/29, and she's looking forward to meeting some people. I'm going to read about 3 of them, and then Brittany, I'll let you read.
Okay.
We have Ellen. She says, hello, my name is Ellen. I had bypass surgery in June of 2020. Hi.
Yeah, hi.
And then we have Gina. My name is Gina, and I had I guess she means RHE sleeve, 12/2 of 2019. I'm scheduled for conversion to DS on 12/23. Oh, right before Christmas, a Christmas present. I'm looking forward to meeting everyone. And Brittany, you go ahead. I'll let you read some of these.
I'm not sure how to pronounce this person's name. It's probably either Serena or Karina. Either way, it's a beautiful name. But she had gastric bypass surgery January 3rd. Oh my goodness, so almost 2 years, right? Yeah, January 3rd, 2019. It'll be 2 years. So I'm currently maintaining my weight loss of 115 pounds. Congratulations, that's hard to do. She says that she fluctuates, but she's okay with that, and I feel great. Yeah. And maybe we can help you with that fluctuation too. I don't know if Brenda will have maybe some tips for you tonight or something. And then we have Chantel. I had sleeve in May of 2016. she lost 160 pounds. Then bypass in June of 2019, only lost 40 pounds total. Looking forward to chatting and learning with everyone. Yes, us too. Nice to meet you. And then there's Penny. She had gastric bypass in 2009. I lost over 100 pounds. That's amazing. She's gained some of it back, but she's sick when she's eating. So maybe we have some tips for her too, Brenda.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have one from Linda too. She got gastric, oh my gosh, I can't talk. Gastric bypass in September of 2019. She's lost over 110 pounds, and she's just 20 shy of meeting her goal weight. She says, I feel a lot better having lost as much as I have. I'm sure. Yeah. That's amazing. All right.
It's wonderful. Okay. And then we have Brittany's comments, and then we have a few more here. I'm going to go ahead and read some of those. Tammy, I had gastric sleeve about 2 years ago, have lost 70 pounds and hit a snag staying at the same weight. I'm able to tolerate almost everything, feeling my stomach has possibly stretched. So embarrassed. Well, don't feel embarrassed about that, because that is fairly, it's very common. And so we'll also talk about some strategies here tonight. I'm hoping you guys get a lot of value, because there's a lot of people in the same boat. And then we have Erin, who commented, who was just with us. We have Deb, said I had gastric sleeve 3.5 years ago, lost 70 pounds, some gain in 6 months. Let me see how many more I have. I have a few more. Let me go ahead and go through those. Okay.
We've had a lot of people that have had the sleeve done, it seems like.
Yeah. Hey, Tammy. Okay, that was Erin's comment. Shelly, I'm hi listening. Love all the calcium 2 flavors. Me too. Patricia, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Same to you.
Merry Christmas. Yes.
And Shelly, I had gastric bypass August of 2019. Been doing very great, but looking to find a bariatric support group. So welcome. And we're going to be doing these monthly. These topics monthly, all different types of subjects, and then weekly we're going to do lives just on all different kinds of really fun stuff. So after the program, if you go to our channel, our channel that we're on here, and you press the follow button, and what will happen is you'll get notifications when new events start. So it's kind of cool. I don't know how to pronounce.
If you guys have any topics in mind that you would like us to cover, feel free to share those too, because we're always looking for new stuff, right, Brenda?
Yes, please do. Please, that'd be great. Extra topics. Scott, I'm not sure how to pronounce this. Scott Q? Love the chocolates. I had sleeve in June of 19. I have lost 140 pounds. The chocolates are probably one of my favorite things, and congratulations. 140 pounds is a lot. And I'm going to let you read the last two, and then we'll get started. If anybody else wants to continue to comment, though, please do, because it'll enter you in our prize, too, as well.
So Jean said that he has an upcoming surgery in a couple weeks, gastric sleeve, okay? And Kimberly said that she's having bypass on December 22nd. So just, what is that, in a week?
Wow.
On day 6 of liquid diet. So.
Oh, it was a typo.
Having surgery. Yeah, it was a typo.
Okay, with that being said.
That's exciting, though. Right in time for the holidays.
A lot of people are getting ready. For one thing, deductibles, and a lot of people's surgeries were pushed back because of all the COVID stuff, and people weren't able to do these surgeries. So I'm excited for you. It's a big change, especially at the end of the year. It's a great way to start the new year.
It is, yeah.
So what we're going to do now is I'm going to get started. I'm going to be sharing my screen as we go through some things. And I just want to say before we start, this program, I'm really excited because we're going to be doing 4 big things. Number 1, we're going to be talking about nutrition, so the food, supplements, and fluids, about post-bariatric surgery, and hopefully giving you some ideas to kind of spark some enthusiasm about kind of whether you're pre-op and you're just getting ready to, have surgery or whether you're a few months out or 6 months out, or if you're 5 years out. I also had weight loss surgery. So a little bit about me. I didn't really say much earlier. The reason I'm here, I also had bariatric surgery. I had it back in 2012. I had the sleeve gastrectomy. And it's been quite the journey for me. I worked at the time that I had the surgery at a bariatric surgery program. And likely I wouldn't have made that decision unless I would have met all these wonderful people like you, like our patients. The first year, it took me a year to make that decision because I was kind of scared. I was like, is it the right thing? Is it something I should be doing? But all in all, I knew that it would be empowering because I had seen so many of our patients and knew what they went through and the health benefits. So what I'm going to be doing is incorporating some of the aspects of what I learned through my own journey through being a nurse in a bariatric surgery program for 8 years and helping patients, and then also incorporating some of my experience. I've always been really interested in personal development, self-development, and healing technologies and so forth. So I'm going to try to incorporate some of that in as well, some of the coaching. So we're going to be talking about nutrition, food, supplements, and fluids. It's maybe a little bit different than what you're used to. We'll also be talking about benefits of eating healthy. And by the term healthy, I mean things that are good for your body. We're going to be talking about an aligned food plan, directly specific for you. And then we're also going to be talking about if you're wanting to lose more weight or stay at maintenance or preventing regain. We're going to be talking about those things because I know those are things too that some of you commented on. And at this point, what I'm going to do is share my screen. So I'm going to go over. Okay, and you guys are going to see my PowerPoint presentation now, and I'm going to kind of move this over so that, can you see it okay, Brittany?
Yeah, it looks
okay,
good.
Great. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to skip this first one. We just kind of talked about why we're here. We're going to talk first about nutrition, and I'm kind of got my timer set to make sure we have plenty of time for question and answers and all of that. So again, if you have questions while we're doing this, write down your questions in the ask a question box, and we'll make sure and get those addressed. Or if you have something in the chat box that you're wanting to add, talk about while we're doing the presentation. I'm going to pause after each slide or after a couple slides and give Brittany an opportunity to kind of chime in. She has lots of good things to add, and have her also let me know, because I can't see that screen as I'm where I'm at in the as I'm sharing mine. So first of all, we're going to talk about recommendations on nutrition, and I want to say probably there's more than likely any of you who have had surgery recently have had your program, the program that you're with, the facility, give you some tips and help with the nutrition plan and basically the foods, the supplements, the fluids you should be taking in. Sometimes though, people may be a little further out, or maybe have moved, or maybe they had surgery in a different state or a different country and may have not saved that information. So some of this stuff may be basic, but we're also going to kind of go advanced. I'm going to talk about this next slide here, recommendations on nutrition, meaning from a viewpoint of bariatric surgery sources. And what I mean by that is there's a big collective group of facilities. It's called the American Society for Metabolic and Bariatric Surgery, the ASMBS, and they have lots and lots of resources to pull from. They've studied bariatric surgery for the last 20, 30 years and gathered a lot of information. So what I hope to bring to you is what the latest and greatest is on best practice as far as losing weight and staying healthy after bariatric surgery. So I do have a handout that I'm going to kind of talk about here. And what I'm going to recommend is, as we're doing this, if you have a pen and paper handy, it may be really helpful just to kind of take a few notes, because some of this might be things that may be beneficial to you, because at the end here, at some point, we're going to be talking about an aligned food plan for you and building that. So taking some notes during this might be helpful. And so Brittany, I'm going to stop sharing my screen there, and I'm going to go to the notes section. And anything that you can add while I'm getting all set up for that.
For now, not really much. We did have a few other comments that I'm going to read aloud. So, okay. Scotty actually said that it's pronounced Scotty, which I was wondering if it was pronounced that way. But he said the chocolates make me feel like I'm cheating. That's so true. Jean starts the liquid diet on 12/26/2020. Scheduled for gastric sleeve January 5th, and they're feeling a little nervous. Do you have anything you want to say to them about that?
Sure. Actually, I'm going right into that, so that's perfect. I'll
there you go.
Here shortly about that, and keep talking. I'm going to go ahead and get me set up while you're reading and sharing. Okay.
Ashley commented and said, "My name is Ashley Carroll. I started this in January, but never had the surgery. I missed the support group meetings. Then COVID hit and everything was delayed." Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry to hear that. I'm a girl. Sorry, Scotty.
Yeah.
The chocolates are addicting, though.
They are addictive.
Yeah, I'm really sorry to hear that everything was pushed back, but we're happy to have you here for the support group.
Absolutely.
And we really want to build this as a platform so people can, get to know each other and have it be like our own little community, right, Brenda?
Yes. So if you're here, honestly, you are part of something. What you say may be helping support somebody else. It's not just what Brittany and I are here to say. We're a group. And so that's why the chat box and the ask a question and all of that's so helpful. And if we are able to, here in a little bit, we might be able to have some people come on screen with us too. We can invite you on screen. So we'll see.
I would love that.
Yes. I'm not going to spend, so we have handouts for this, and you're going to see, can you see the handout? It says Eating for Life Nutrition Recommendations.
Yeah,
okay.
I see it. Did Wonderful. You give them the link for it in case they want to that? Or I can show them.
Would you mind sharing that, Brittany? I do have it pulled up, and I'll talk about it here in a little bit, but I think I shared the link earlier, but if you have it handy, that'd be great. You guys, after this presentation is over, these handouts are all available. I'm not going to go and read every single word on them because I'd bore you to death, but I do want to let you know that we do have some pretty awesome things available here for you to check out later and like really read and kind of dig down into. So one of the things is nutrition recommendations. So the person who's preparing for surgery, we just ask a few questions here, and the pre-procedure weight loss prior to surgery is basically to help reduce the liver size and help make seeing the stomach a little easier. So your liver sits kind of like right here on top of your stomach, and that basically what the doctors do is they actually pull up the liver and then they put some sutures, tack it up so that they can work on the stomach. If your liver is too enlarged, it makes it very difficult for them to get to where they're going, and so thus the pre-op diet to help shrink the size of the liver, to detoxify it, to help them get in to see where they're going and make it easier. So that's basically, normally it's a very high protein, low carbohydrate. A lot of times there are liquid diets that people are on prior to surgery. And if you had specific questions that maybe I can help answer regarding the pre-op diet, please type that in the chat, and I'll have Brittany tell me here in just a little bit, and we'll try to address that. But what I can tell you is that really and truly that pre-op diet can be sometimes a little harder than even post-op, I think, because you have a full stomach still. And so it's mind over matter. Remember why you're doing the surgery. And every surgery program is different on how long to do that. Were you going to say something, Brittany?
No, I was just agreeing with you. It's mind over matter. I completely agree with that.
Yeah. And then post-surgery, kind of going after surgery. I'm going to kind of move my screen up here a little bit, and I'm not going to read all this, but what I want to say is the big thing is post-surgery, most patients are going to be, sorry about my phone, I'm going to turn that off. Most programs are going to have some phases post-surgery. The program that I worked in, I think, had 5 or 6 phases, depending on what surgery you had, and those phases are going to migrate over, I'd say, about a month and a half to 2 months, depending on the program you're in. So you're going to go from basically most of the time liquids after surgery to soft foods to a little bit harder foods, and then at the end, more maintenance foods. And so basically what I have here is I have lots and lots of information basically on kind of that migrating into that. So eating small foods. Initially, you're only going to be taking a few bites after surgery. So making the amounts, you may have to eat 3 or 6 times. Instead of having 3 small meals, you may have to eat pretty much throughout the day, the first few weeks after surgery, and then you can kind of start migrating into a breakfast, lunch, dinner. But you can't take a whole lot in at a time, maybe a tablespoon in at a time, so it's going to be hard to get much more than that. During your maintenance phase, making sure that you're eating the right kinds of foods, high protein, and making sure you're getting in your fruits and vegetables is really helpful. Now with the bypass surgery, more than any of the others, a lot of times being careful about the type of sweets that you eat, because those sometimes can cause dumping syndrome or make your stomach kind of rumble. And basically what it does is it dumps sugar into your GI tract and makes things, it draws in the fluids into your GI tract and things go through very quickly, thus calling it dumping, meaning diarrhea, but also can make your heart feel like it's palpitating and make you nauseated. So not a fun thing. So the right types of foods, and then drinking plenty of fluids. Avoid drinking 30 minutes before eating or solid foods. And then calories. Patients are always asking, how many calories should I be getting? And there's really not a concrete number for that. It's basically what you can tolerate. So right after surgery, it's typical for anybody to get, I'm going to say 400 to 800 calories in a day. For those first few weeks, it's pretty low calorie. After the first several months of surgery, typically that can go up. I'd say maybe closer to 6 months, maybe. I don't know. Everybody's so different. Maybe 1,200 to 1,500 calories, and then maybe towards the end of the year, maybe 1,500 to 1,800. But again, everybody's different. I've known surgery patients that still held those lower numbers even at a year. So everybody's body's different. You have to just look and see what works for you. If you're not a calorie counter and you're just kind of eating healthy, that's okay too. But a lot of times that question comes up. So I kind of tried to put it in the information. And if you have questions too, talk to a dietitian. A lot of programs have dietitians that you can consult and work with, and they can help you specifically. And then breakdown of proteins, carbohydrates, and fats. This was always a big question in our surgery program. Patients were asking. Protein, most programs, I would say, and the recommendations are typically 60 to 90 grams of protein, depending on procedure type and your body type and that type of thing. Now, if your program told you different than that, please listen to whatever their recommendations are. But 60 to 90 grams is pretty typical, and that would be about 10 to 35% of ideal, 10 to 35% of daily intake, 30% being around the ideal amount. And then carbohydrates, 50 grams in early stages up to 130 grams maintenance, and that'd be 40 to 60 of daily intake. And I was kind of surprised at that whenever I was reading those numbers. I'll show you where I got some of my information from. So, really it's dependent on the type of carbohydrates you're eating may be important. Fresh fruit and vegetables, the amount of carbs versus like breads and pastas and things like that, and just kind of balancing it out throughout the day so you're not having like these huge amounts at one meal and then nothing at another. And then fat, 20 to 35% of daily intake, the bulk from unsaturated fats, and 20 to 35% of daily intake. And here's this is where I got the information from. It was from the obesity and related diseases I know you probably cannot see, but these are resources that you guys can look at later. So I'm just paging down, has a bunch of information. And there's a little chart that I've included for eating for your body type to encourage weight loss if you have a compact and muscular body build versus a soft round body build. And then the percentages of fat and proteins. And again, if your dietitian is telling you differently, go with that. This is just basically information that I have gotten through my own research.
We did have one quick question. Jean asked, is the liquid diet just broth? I don't know if you want to expand on what that is.
Sure. Liquid diet usually is anything that's liquid at room temperature. So that could mean, usually you want to go with low sugar, low fat options. So other things might include, besides that, protein shakes. Now, whether or not your program wants you to mix them with milk or water, usually I don't think that's too much of an issue. So that's a big way to get in your protein if you can't do many other proteins. I will say though, a lot of times the day before surgery is clear liquids, and that would be things like broth, but other things that are just full liquids and would include I'm thinking of clear liquids for some reason. Other clear liquids are like Jell-O and popsicles, and sugar-free popsicles would be more recommended than others. Brainstorming. Sorry, those are the things that come to mind though. So you do have some options, and actually, crazy as it is, Google has all your answers. Look up full liquids. Look up clear liquids. Clear liquids are typically things that you can see through that are typically generally like the day before surgery, unless your program says differently. Full liquids would be the things like the protein shakes and trying to think if there's anything else that kind of goes in that category. Nothing else is coming to mind for some crazy reason, so I apologize. But protein shakes are typically pretty helpful right before surgery because you're not getting most other liquids. There's not a lot of nutrition value in them. Mm-hmm. Was there anything else, Brittany?
No. Christine said that the handout has a lot of good information, so she's going to print that out. And Marta is having some issues with the screen. I told her to just refresh the page, and
also,
maybe that would help.
Yeah, if they're not on, talk about Chrome. Like if
yeah, that's another thing, you guys. So using Chrome is what is recommended for Crowdcast. People have had issues with just Internet Explorer, and I believe even, what's this other one too? Anyways, yeah, if you're not using Chrome, try to log out and get back into Chrome. And if you want, I can send you the link that goes straight here. Here's the link.
Thanks, Brittany.
No problem.
So going back here, we're going to talk just a few more little things here. Fluids, I'd say for most patients, they usually recommend 48 to 64 ounces of fluids or 1.5 liters daily. But again, if your program is different, that's a lot of liquids. Initially, right after surgery, it might be a little harder for you to get all that in. I just say do your best. I know for me, after surgery, I was not the best patient, I guess. I only could get in a couple. This is some diet green tea, but I could get maybe 2 of these in a day of water. And so that wasn't a whole, I think these are like 16 ounces or something like that. So that wasn't a whole lot, but do your very best. One of the very biggest risk post-surgery, the reason that most patients come back to the hospital is dehydration. So sip, sip, sip all day long, just little tiny drinks. Sometimes I know the hospital I worked at, they used to give patients a little cup that was the size of a medicine cup to remind them just to take that amount in at a time, very slow. And really even, 2, 3, 4 years out, 10 years out, have to be careful not to get dehydrated when you're out working in the sun and things like that, because you just physically can't just sit and gulp down water or any kind of fluids. Mm-hmm. It takes a little bit of time. And then vitamins. Vitamins are an important part of your regimen as they keep your bones strong, they keep your cells healthy, they keep your immune system boosted, they keep your skin, hair, nails, all of that working properly and make you young and youthful looking. So a multivitamin, calcium, vitamin D, iron, B12, those are all the essentials. And I have all of the amounts on here for you, so when you get time you can come back and look at these handouts. So I'm going to go back to my screen here and bring us back for just a second. The other thing that I'm going to say, I'm going to go back to my other slides, and we're going to talk a little bit about the next piece. Dun, 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 dun. We just talked about the benefits of eating healthy. So, I mean, this makes sense, but some of those things I just mentioned, strengthening and energizing your body, having energy to do the things that you want to do, reducing, disease processes. For me, that was huge, high blood pressure, such a common thing for people who have these things, reducing your symptoms of diabetes, reducing sleep apnea, reducing the stress on the joints, osteoarthritis, all those kind of things. Maybe getting to a goal weight to be able to have knee surgery, have back surgery, all of those things. And then better quality of life, not just the physical quality, but improved mental and emotional functioning too as well. Super important. And then we have some other things, kind of basically elements of an aligned food plan. And what I want to say here is basically when you're eating things that help you to feel more on track and less guilty, knowing that what you're putting in your body is strengthening it, is helping you to function better, is making you more clear-minded, is adding to your day as opposed to taking away. It just is kind of a calming thing. I think that was one of the biggest things after my weight loss surgery, is just knowing that, not worrying so much about the foods that I was eating, because it was just kind of took the worry away, because I was eating less of the portion sizes and just feeling better about the choices I was making. So basically, that's pretty much when you're eating right, it helps you feel satisfied too. It's not, your blood sugar's not going way up and way down and way up and way down. So I want to say the very next thing to me, a key to basically staying on track and to really being intentional, is having kind of a little bit of a food plan. And this is where the individualized stuff comes in. And we're going to be sharing, I have a sample weekly meal plan along with an individualized food plan and some examples of healthy foods that you can eat. Because sometimes when we get to the grocery stores, it makes it hard to know what to purchase. And Brittany, I want you to talk here while I'm getting that pulled up. Tell them about our surprise that we're going to be having coming up here soon. About the
next event?
Grocery carts.
Yeah. Well, first, I just went ahead and shared this handout that she's going to pull up here in a minute. So if you guys want that, that's linked below now. But yeah, so what we're going to do is we actually found an example of these grocery cards, and it kind of gives you a list of what's, I don't want to say acceptable, but it gives you an outline of what to look for at the grocery store. And it even is narrowed down to what aisle it can be found in too. So we're working on that, and that should be up on for the next event. And then we're also going to have some comparison cards too. So if you are at the stage where you can eat out, I know sometimes, it just depends on what stage you're at, but we're going to be making some comparison cards for that too. So if you and your family are going through, let's say, a fast food place, we can find something that is still supporting that healthy lifestyle that you're trying to keep up, so you don't have to feel so guilty, like what Brenda was saying earlier. about making good choices.
Mm-hmm.
And just so you feel better. You feel better. Your body will thank you, and you mentally will feel better too.
And it's all about choices, as we know. And I'm moving our screen here too. Can you see this, Brittany?
Yeah.
Is it showing up? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'll let you finish. What did you have anything else to say about that part, though?
That was basically it, unless you wanted to share anything else that I missed about it.
No, I just think it's exciting. Those are in the works. Those are in the works, and we're going to be sharing those in one of our upcoming either weekly topics or our support groups, or maybe even both. As soon as we get them out, we're going to be sharing them
everywhere.
Hopefully, and everywhere.
It'll be like Oprah. You get one. You get one. You get one. Look under your seat. No, I'm kidding.
I love it. So here's a little sample meal plan that I have, and below this, I'm just paging down, is going to be an individualized meal plan. So it's something while we're talking here, if you decide to take a few notes and later print this off, you can definitely do that. So at the top is the vitamins. Calcium, 500 milligrams with 500 IU of vitamin D is recommended. Typically around 1,500 for bypass and sleep patients a day. DS patients, maybe around 2,000 a day. So if you're a DS patient, you may be taking calcium 3 times a day, but that's typically what's recommended. Again, check with your program. And then a bariatric multivitamin that covers everything. And so ProCare does have a 1 a day. Now, if you're not taking ProCare and you're taking something that's multiple times a day, you just have to fill in the blanks that, once you put it in a calendar or put it as an intention of what you intend to do, it makes it more likely that you're going to be doing that because you're planning ahead. So basically that's what this is all about, just planning ahead and kind of thinking of ideas that'll help you feel better.
And I feel like it becomes more habitual too. Like it becomes more of a habit. You don't even think about it anymore. You just take your vitamin.
And if it's there, like if you have your vitamins, if you have your food that you're wanting to eat to stay on track, it makes it so much easier to actually do that. Because if you, for example, right now I'm working from home, Brittany's working from home, but whenever I was at work, if I didn't have things at work with me that whenever I got hungry and I needed a snack and I didn't have something healthy, I was running to get something and they didn't always have the choices that I wanted. So I was eating maybe something that didn't seem aligned for me, didn't seem good. So having those things available is super helpful. In meal prepping, we're going to be doing a segment next month on meal prepping. So it kind of follows into all of this as well. So here's just some ideas, maybe an egg white omelet, and instead of putting 3 eggs, make it with 1 egg and add in some spinach or some onions or whatever is good for you, along with oatmeal prepared with water. Now this is more of a maintenance plan. This isn't really, it's not really for those of you who are maybe pre-op or early post-op, but obviously you can still set up your own meal plan for those as well. Some other ideas, some programs recommend not really relying on protein shakes or bars post-surgery because they want you to get your protein from food. But sometimes they're really super easy as well. So depending on what works for you, if you need a little snack in between your meals, those might be a good snack. Fresh tuna is a great thing. Salmon, chicken. Those are all different, just lots of ideas here. Cottage cheese, I have that as one of the snacks here with fruit. Cottage cheese is one of my favorites.
I love cottage cheese. I love it.
And it's really good with yogurt.
With pineapple on top of it.
Some
people might think that's weird, but I don't know.
No, that sounds good. My mom used to make something with cottage cheese and pineapple and marshmallows. The marshmallows.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that.
And I'm not spending a lot of time on this because of our time here. I want to be your time is valuable, so I want to be really good about that. I'm just going to show you the individualized meal plan down here that you can print off. And then down at the bottom, it says vitamins, protein, fluids, how many fruits and vegetables. Down here is for you to write your goals for the day, for the week, however you want to do it, just so that you can kind of decide your plan before like going in and putting in those meal plans. Mm-hmm. And then below that is protein contents of food. So I have lots and lots and lots of different things, all different kinds of proteins. Below proteins is, I think the beginning one I have high protein foods, 4 grams or more. And then below that I have ones that are less than 3 grams or less. We also have some, as I keep rolling here, grains. We have vegetables to choose from, foods to avoid, fruits, the same, dairy, same, meats, same, fats, same, and condiments. So just a good little resource guide. I know I went over that pretty quickly, but check it out later. Read over it and see. It might be helpful to even make a grocery list, whenever you're getting ready to go, and maybe this will help you with some ideas, prompting some ideas.
I make a list every time I go, because then I forget stuff, or I get off track and I buy stuff I don't need. And if you write a list, it tells you everything that you need, and you can get in and get out.
Absolutely. And especially it gives you healthy ideas. My daughter, she's 21, and she sent me on the phone a list. She's like, Mom, I'm coming home and I want healthy food. She's like, this is what I want. She said, you don't have to buy everything on this list. It was like 3 pages of notes of foods. She called it her grocery list. 3 pages of notes, and she's like, these are the foods you need to have whenever I get home. I'm like, okay. You're only home 3 days, but okay, we can do it. So then she left, and I have all these healthy foods still there, so that's good, I guess.
It worked out for you, yeah.
Okay, I'm going to keep sharing. We got a little bit more. And Jessica comment, thanks for the tips. You are sure welcome. We got more to come here. We're going to keep going. Got a little bit more before we're going to start opening up to everybody, because we want to, and please feel free to ask more questions if anybody's got questions. So I'm going to go back to our presentation. I think I got one more handout. Oh, you know what? Instead of doing that, I'm going to go to a normal day. What would a normal day look for you? Food planner and journaling. Okay. Well, we did the food journal because I showed that secondarily with the other, but we're going to go to this third one, and it's after completing your journal exercise, don't let the small distractions stand in your way. Take notes of your progress. So use the setbacks as motivation to keep you moving forward. So the next thing we're going to do is resources for tracking. So let me go look at that, because we got 2 minutes before we're going to start taking questions here, or maybe 5. We'll see here. Okay, share my screen. Resources for tracking. Okay. Can you see my screen now? Resources for tracking.
Mm-hmm. Hi, Nancy. She said she's late, but hi.
Oh, hello. Welcome to the group.
You should be able to watch the whole thing if you're interested. Right? She can replay it after we're done.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, come back and listen. So here, some of you guys might be aware of some of these, but some of my favorite and some that as I was researching, I've kind of logged here. Baritastic app, which is one of my favorites. It's a nutrition tracker, but it also allows you to log everything, basically from eating and drinking, how you're spending your calories and physical activity. And the thing that I like the most about it is it's designed specifically for, that's my alarm. Let's turn that off. For bariatric surgery patients, for their portion sizes. MyFitnessPal, Lose It, Waterlogged, Fooducate, My Diet Coach, Fitbit, and Area, and Happy Scale. So come back and take a look at those resources and check them out. I'm not going to do a lot of talking because I want to spend time with quick Q&A before we get done here. But come back and check those out. To me, having something that helps you be really intentional is helpful. Brittany, do you have anything to say about that?
Not really. I was just responding to some people. Jean had a question about which app, which we answered that question. And then Shelly said that she loves the Veritastic app. It's great. I tried to use Veritastic and it would not let me sign up. I've been using my Pal. I like my Pal too, but it sounds like Veritastic is just geared more towards bariatric patients. So I think that's, the only benefit.
Yeah.
If you like Pal, I think that there's nothing wrong with that, because Pal lets you track your water intake and I believe your exercises too. So, Linda said the handout with the food is going to be very helpful. There's several things on it I thought I couldn't have, but honestly, that's going to help making meals much easier. Well, we're happy.
Good. Good deal.
Good, yeah.
And the Berrytastic app, I almost wonder, I know you can download it on your phones and your computer. I don't know what's going on with that, but yeah, if you can't get into that one, try a different one, and it's not required to use an app. It's just sometimes, to me, it helps me be more mindful of what I'm putting in.
Is Berrytastic free, Brenda? It is? Okay. Yeah, I don't know why it wouldn't let him sign up. That's kind of, or her, I'm sorry, Marta, why it wouldn't let her sign up. That's kind of weird.
Yeah, I don't know either. I'm going to mention a couple more things real quickly here. Going back to my application window and back to my presentation. And before we close...
Oh, they wanted a code from the surgeon's practice. Have you ever heard of that, Brenda?
Oh, if you don't have a code, you should be able to bypass it, I think. Maybe try it again. The code from the surgeon's office just basically helps so that you can have information specific to your surgery program, but it should be that you don't have to have that, I think.
Okay.
See if you can bypass it. So in closing, of course, most of your bariatric surgery facilities, your programs are going to say focus first on protein. Try to get in your protein. If you're eating that first, you're going to fill up on that, and you're hopefully going to eat less of other stuff. But also balancing out your meal. You don't have to go completely carb-free. You don't have to go completely fat-free. Just make sure it's a balanced meal. And then fluids. Consuming 30 minutes before or after meals so that you're not filling up your stomach with a lot of liquids. And also they say too, so when you fill up your stomach with liquids, it's going to fill you up so that you don't want to eat so much other food, which is maybe not a bad thing, but you do need some nutrition. And they also say sometimes that can wash things through your GI tract a little faster if you're drinking at the same time you're eating. So maybe drink, wait 30 minutes, and then eat. And then the other closing thoughts, make sure you're taking your multivitamins. Again, all of those are listed for you on that one handout. A multivitamin, calcium, vitamin D, iron, and B12. And then, let's see here, remembering the benefits of the foods that you're eating that are healthy. Praying over your food or being intentional about the foods that you're putting in your body and knowing that those things are regenerating your cells or helping you stay healthy takes away the guilt and the shame around eating, because I think sometimes it's even hard to know what to eat because so much of what we're told in society nowadays. Because you kind of got to listen to your own gut instincts, what's good for you, what's healthy for you in the moment. Maybe you're needing a little salt in your diet because your body needs it. Or maybe you're needing a little bit of foods that have a certain, like potassium or something like that, and so you're craving a certain food because it has that specific ingredient in it. So I'd say developing a plan that you feel good about, and then taking note of your progress. If you're at a stall and you feel like you want to go a little further, by being intentional, maybe tracking your foods, what you're taking in, and so then where you can make the tweaks. So if you're at a stall, chart your food intake for a full week and your liquids and everything, and then see where you can tweak that, whether it be in foods, maybe physical activity. Little tiny changes can make big differences. So that's it on that. We're gonna, before I take Q&A, I just want to also go back to mentioning our sponsor real quick. I want to just say, ProCare Health is incredible. They're bringing us these programs because they're invested in not only helping people stay healthy with vitamins, but stay on track as far as all of this goes. That's why I kind of came on, and Brittany's here. We're basically kind of like little coaches to try to help patients, because so much, they do surgery on your stomach, but a lot of it is mindset. A lot of it is
absolutely
of changing our behaviors, our lifestyle, and staying healthy. So the last couple slides I'm going to talk about after we do Q&A. So let me stop sharing this, and now we're going to go into Q&A. I'm going to first start with the 4 questions that we have under Ask a Question. Okay? So the very first one, Brittany, I'm going to let you read it, and then I'll answer it.
Okay. Before we do the Q&A, actually, there was one quick thing I wanted to remind you guys. I don't know if you already are following us on our social media platforms, but on Instagram, Facebook, and I believe Twitter too, we are doing a 12 days of giveaways for the holiday season. And we have a pretty extravagant grand prize that's going to be up on day 12. So make sure you stay tuned for that. And you're following us on all of the social media platforms. That way you have a chance to enter and win, because it's pretty big. I don't know if it's a surprise, so I don't want to ruin it, but I promise you, you're not going to be disappointed. So definitely be on the lookout for that. And I believe that's next week. So, all right, the first one, here we go. After someone has met their goal, do we have to stick to keto, Weight Watchers, low carb, etc., or is it just moderation thereafter? I did have a bite of my husband's dessert this week, and the real sugar gave me a headache. Won't be doing that very often. That's from Scotty.
Okay. So when you've met your goal weight, I'd say it's what works for you. Because, I've heard dietitians say that they recommend one thing over another and so forth. Really, it's up to you, though. I mean, what works for you and for your body, to kind of what you feel good about, and what is healthy for your body and what works for your lifestyle. Because, keto might work for one person's lifestyle but not work for another person's lifestyle, because it's something has to be something maintainable, something you can do every single day.
That's what I was going to say, is sustainable. And
yeah,
I don't know if, me personally, I like carbs too much. I couldn't stay on keto for, a long time. So.
And Weight Watchers is probably a healthy choice because it has a lot of different options, but it really just has to be for your lifestyle, what works for you.
Yeah.
So that was that one, and I understand about keeping your blood sugar managed. That's a big thing, making sure you keep it more steady so that you don't have those up and downs. Okay, go ahead, Brittany. I'll let you read the next one.
Oh, no, you're fine. Melissa says, hello, I had a sleeve done on October 30th, 2019. I'm 4'7". What should be my goal weight, and how long does it take to get there?
Oh, I love this question. So what I would say is, depending on which surgery you have, there's kind of out there's data that shows different, how you fall into different categories for excess body weight loss after certain surgeries. For example, the sleeve gastrectomy. Research is around 50-60% excess body weight loss after that first year. Now, I've seen patients that have 100% of excess body weight loss, meaning that they lose down to their ideal body weight. So it's really kind of dependent on you and your overall goals. So for a person of 4'7", I looked it up right before the call started. Ideal body weight was around 93 pounds, which is really low. I would say, the surgeon I worked for before always would say, 20 pounds above ideal body weight's good. So, 120, somewhere around there, 115. But that may not be what your goal is. I've known patients that just wanted to go get below, 200 pounds, that just wanted to get below 250 pounds. So it's about what's healthy for you. So what was your starting weight? Where did you start at? What was your body mass index then? How much, if you take that weight, subtract off your ideal body weight. So if your initial weight at 4'7" was 250, and then your ideal body weight was 93,
93, I think is 93. What you said.
If you subtract those two and you times that by 50 or 60%, it kind of gives you an average of sleep patients overall. Now, like I said, yours could be much higher than that. With bypass, usually 50 or 60 to 75%. DS could be 75 to 100%. Each procedure gives you a little bit differences in excess body weight loss, but again, it's individualized too, and what your goals are. I hope that answers. So, Melissa, feel free to say something more if you have more questions about that. And then what would you say an ideal body weight for a 5'8" woman is? For 5'8", about 141 is what I'm pulling up. Now, what all you have to do is go in, if you're wondering what your ideal body weight is. I'm actually on a tracker right now. I'm going to copy this. I just pulled it up on the internet before I started. You can go to any lots of websites. They'll tell you this. I'm going to paste it. There's a little link. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and read the next one. Oh, Christine, I got to within 20 pounds of my goal weight and then stopped at over a year, never lost any more weight, now have gained an additional 20. I'm hoping these crowdcasts will help. I hope so too. Sometimes just being, present and just loving yourself. Loving yourself is a big thing, regardless of where you are. Go ahead and read the next one, Brittany. I'm sorry.
No, you're okay. I'm just
that was a comment on that.
Yeah, no, that's great. Share them as they're coming in. This is actually, I think this is a really good question that Elizabeth asked. During the COVID-19 pandemic, what are some things that people are doing to stay active while some gyms may be shut down completely, or your surgeon strongly advises going to gyms at this time as our immune system may not be as strong after having gastric surgery? So we kind of touched on this on our previous live group. It wasn't a support group. It was a live event that we did, but we shared a few, there's fitness apps that you can have, and then there's actually some free ones on YouTube. So I don't know if you want to share those, because you were the one that was telling me about those.
Yeah, so just as Brittany said, one thing I want to mention here, if you guys go to our ProCare Health channel on Crowdcast here, we have probably, what would you say, maybe 20 different topics, 15 to 20 different topics already on there of things that we've done. And that one was, help me remember, Brittany, what was the title of that one?
Well, hold on, I have it right here. I think it was Lasting Motivation, Inspired Enthusiasm. Is that where we were talking about that?
It might have been.
But yeah, there's actually a bunch of YouTube channels that are for free. You just have to deal with the ads, of course, but the ads aren't even that bad. I mean, and they have all kinds of different classes too. You can do yoga if you're into that. You can do, I think there's like 15-minute workouts, and you can even pick your intensity too. So if you're someone who's, an avid person that goes to the gym and you know what you're doing and you want a pretty good workout, you can find something that's pretty intense. Or if you're someone like me, I never go to the gym, so I would probably want something a little bit more mild but still gets my heart rate up. You can find all of that stuff on YouTube. But what was the one that you were saying, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, if you do fitness at home or whatever, Google it. There's all different kinds of ads that pop up. I tried Daily Burn. It's called Daily Burn for a month. I'm thinking it was $14.95 or $19.95 a month. And honestly, it was awesome. They have workouts daily, all different physical levels. Like you put in some data before you start so that you have, kind of like those different intensity levels, what you're looking for. But not only do they have daily workouts, but they also have a whole library of different things if you're not wanting the workout that they have that day. So that was pretty cool.
Well, and the $14.95 is about what a gym membership is. I think I pay $20 for my gym membership. So,
yeah.
Carrie wants to know if the pouch reset is real or a myth. What do you have to say about that? I'm interested to see what you think too. We haven't talked about this yet.
Yeah.
I know what it is. I've heard of it, but I would just like to hear what you have to say.
I'd say it's what you think it is. I'd say I'm talking directly to Carrie. What does Carrie think it is? If you think it's good for your body, then do it. If you think it's not going to be helpful for you, don't do it. It's not long-term sustainable. It's just a jump start. So is it going to hurt you? No. But is it going to help you long-term? Maybe. I mean, if you need a little jump or restart, maybe. But, to stay on something like that long-term is going to be sort of a little bit harder. And I saw something too here. Back a question. I'm not sure it was related. Okay, it wasn't related, so I'll hold on that one. But it's one of those things. It's what you're looking for when you had weight loss surgery is something that's long-term and sustainable, that's going to keep you going. But during that path, if you need little inspiration and little enthusiasm to get you back on track and feeling really good, there's nothing wrong with doing a little jump start. I don't know that it'd be something long-term for you.
Have you ever tried it, Brenda?
I've not tried those. Mm-mm.
No? Oh, okay.
Mm-mm. But I know we always had a lot of patients that ask about them. And our surgeons usually would steer them away from that because it's not long-term. But I still think whatever's good for the person. If it's something that helps you get back on track, then go for it. There's nothing wrong with it, but has to be right for you. So let's go a few more questions. We're at 6 o'clock right now, so we're going to take a few more. I'd say, what do you think? Go to 6:15, Brittany?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay.
I know we have 2 unanswered ones still, so
yeah, keep going with those. And I see some more chat in the chat box too. So read me off one. Where do you want to go next?
Is it bad if one seems to get stuck at a weight that is 20 pounds away from their goal weight? I seem to be stuck, and honestly, no matter how much I exercise or keep my diet, nothing changes from there.
Okay.
And that's from Linda.
It's only bad if you think it's bad. So if you're not happy with where you are, then, finding the key sometimes is where it's at. And by the key, it's just little tweaks. Somehow feeling better about whatever your routine is. It could be sometimes just getting in a more relaxed state so that you have more inspiration for what that is. Because sometimes when we worry, we get in this cycle of going round and round and thinking and worrying and thinking and worrying. So, slow yourself down. Maybe look at your food that you're taking in, being intentional. Look at fitness app maybe or something that'll help you be more mindful if that's what it takes. If it's your physical activity, looking at what you're doing or not doing and seeing if you can do, and just try one little thing and see if that helps. Kind of brings down your resistance so that your stress levels go down and that you start feeling better about what you're doing. One little change, then another little change. That's what I would recommend.
And I think a lot of people struggle with, because she said that she's stuck at a weight. I think a lot of people go through plateaus too. And I don't know how long you've been stuck there, but Erin actually had something very helpful too. That's for Carrie though, so I'll get to that in a minute. But I think a lot of people go through plateaus, and I think that that's normal, right, Brenda?
Very normal.
I mean, I know it's frustrating.
Very normal.
I'm not saying it's not, but I would agree with Brenda though. Just make some little changes here and there, and see what has the change that you want, and kind of go from there.
Your gauge is your emotions. So
Yes.
if you're feeling better about your choices, you're moving in the right direction.
Yes.
And you're being led to that. You're going to be led intuitively towards that if you're in that right mindset. But if you're in the mindset of I'm never going to do this, I'm not going to do it, and you're going around in a circle, then it's not going to happen. Unfortunately, I mean, you just got to get out of that pattern and find tiny little things that make you feel better and start reaching for those things instead of the needless worry and stress about whatever it is that's causing you to feel bad. I'm just taking a deep breath because I know that's hard sometimes. It can be when you're in that pattern. It's about breaking loose from that pattern. Let's go on.
Okay, we got, I think, did you already answer the question of how do you set your goal weight for 5'9"? Didn't you share that?
Well, what I said is basically depending on which surgery type you had. So like let's say you had the sleeve versus bypass versus duodenal switch. There are certain amounts out there that are, I'd say, kind of averages of weight loss. For like the sleeve, I'd say 50 to 60% excess body weight loss. For the bypass, I'd say 60 to 75% excess body weight loss. For duodenal switch, 75% excess body weight loss to 100. But again, that can vary. And so if you take your beginning weight, say your beginning weight is 250, we're going to go by that lady who's 4'7", and subtract off her ideal weight, which was 93. That gives you your excess body weight, your starting excess body weight, and then taking that and timesing that by a percentage. Now, your surgery program may have a better way of gauging what your goal weight could be for you. And really and truly, looking at what is in your mind's eye is a good number. It may not be ideal body weight. Most people's aren't their ideal body weight because those are really low numbers most of the time, maybe 20 pounds above that. Or like I said, some people might just be below 200. I don't know. I mean, everybody's so different. Some people might just be below 250. Everybody's depends on where your starting point is. I hope that answers. Dean, let us know if that answers. Okay, Brittany, go on for the next.
This is the last one, at least the one that I see anyway. What would be the reason for not losing weight post-revision? So this person had sleeve done on 5/16 and a revision done on 6/20. So sleeve and then revised to bypass.
Okay. So kind of take a deep breath here because the surgery is just one part of our weight loss. Kind of let that sink in. And so it's kind of about finding out what's blocking. If you really think you're wanting to lose weight, what would be your reason for staying at the weight that you're at now? Ask yourself that. What factors keep you safe, keep you where you are now? So it's a question maybe to ask yourself, why am I staying the same? Is there a benefit to that? When you take away the surgery, like I said, is one part. There's emotional and mental parts to that too. And so sometimes getting at the root cause of that, if it's causing you some kind of pain, and you're more or less you're not where you want to be. If that's the case, which if you're asking me, likely you are wanting to lose more weight, ask yourself, and sometimes it's seeking out the deep underlying issue of what benefits you have at staying at that weight.
So are you saying that it might not be something necessarily physical, it might be something mentally or emotionally even that could be a bigger root to the problem?
I would say possibly. If you're having issues post revision, you're not having the kind of weight loss you want. The doctors, I definitely talk to the facility that did the surgery and see if there are physical reasons. They can maybe do some testing if you're having any kind of issues. They can do, depending on what's going on, what kind of symptoms you're having or not having, there may be additional testing. But if all of those fall through, then looking at other issues underlying that. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Because it is. The surgeries are wonderful, wonderful, wonderful tools, but it's not all of it either. So, maybe, Chantel, I hope that'll help you a little bit, kind of gearing in and maybe asking yourself some really deep questions. And sometimes those questions, sometimes it's journaling, like just taking a piece of paper out and writing down, how am I benefiting? What is at staying this weight? Sometimes we don't always, it's not conscious to us. Sometimes just bringing awareness into it is enough to kind of help with that. And I know we got other things in the chat box. We got a few more minutes. Let's see if we can answer some of those too.
Well, we just got one more question too, actually. It says, after 2 years post-op from RNY, is it still possible to make goal weight of your 45 pounds from it?
What was the question again? I'm sorry.
She's 2 years post-op from RNY, and is it still possible to make your goal weight of your
absolutely.
45 pounds from it?
Absolutely, yeah. No matter how far you're out you could be as far out as me. My surgery was in 2013. And if I was like really, it has to be something you want though, like want, and by want, I mean, want bad enough to want it. If somebody was putting a gun to your head and they told you had to do it, that's different than just saying you want to do something. You know what I mean? Your intention's different. I know that sounds maybe that sounds harsh. I don't mean it to be harsh.
I was giggling because I was like, that escalated quickly.
I'm just saying, like, the amount of intensity of how you want it is different depending on. And so, absolutely, like, it doesn't matter if you're 5 years out, 10 years out, 15 years out. If it's something that you want and you desire bad enough and you have a mindset to go into it, then it can be done.
All right, that's all the questions for the question box, but I just want to make sure we didn't miss any in the chat. And if you guys have any other ones, please let us know. We already answered Carrie's question. Deborah said how to turn around from bad habits.
Okay, so I would say immediately when something comes up and you're thinking about when you first of all make it your intention to know whenever you're having a bad habit, like becoming aware of what your bad habits are, first of all, because you can't change them unless you know what they are. Mm-hmm. Second of all, when you find yourself, for me it's chips. I can't help it, I love chips. If I find myself sitting down and eating those, what are some ways that I can keep from doing that? Number one, not buying them and keeping them in my house. Number two, taking a handful out and leaving the rest in the cupboard so that I'm away from them. So it's about becoming aware and then immediately doing something to change that habit. Like when you become aware of it and you know you're doing it, saying, I can stop right now. Not making it tomorrow or the next day or the next day. Like right now in this moment, what can I do to feel better about this?
Yeah.
And maybe it's just stopping right then and not eating anymore if it's something that you're eating or doing. Just stopping in that moment and saying, okay, I'm changing. I'm making myself aware. I'm changing.
Or instead of maybe going for the bag of chips, maybe finding a snack that's better too, right? Mm-hmm. Substituting. That's the word I'm looking for.
Absolutely. Yeah, finding better choices.
Because then you don't feel as bad if if
I'm reading over
snacking your
the comments too.
Actually, Jessica said that she loves hip hop and she's subscribed to Mike Peel, which is a hip hop fitness. I guess it's like dance. I'm actually really curious to see what that is, so I wrote it down because I kind of like to dance too. That's something that I do in my own home, though. I wouldn't do that at the gym in front of people. But hey, you know.
I'm looking here. See if there's any other. So
Teen goes, I want chips now.
sorry about that. I know they're my thing too. It looks like Linda put, I'm 5'4". Originally, the doctor wanted me to get down to 154. Did you read this one yet?
I don't think so.
I'm currently at 194 and took rather bony up in my neck and shoulders, but have weight around my hips. This causes to decide 175 might be wiser to get to, but honestly, as I am now, I'm worried and wondering if losing more is wise or not. You know, it's really and truly, it's how you feel about it and what's healthy for you at the weight. And that's a decision between you, your doctor, and you. Back to you again. It has to be something that you feel good about.
And everyone's body is different too.
Mm-hmm.
So
where you carry your weight and
exactly, that's what I'm trying to say.
I've seen people that look the same weight as me, and I think, oh my gosh, they look really great, and I'm like, wait a minute, you know. And then I also have seen people that weigh the same amount as me, and I think the opposite. So I'm like, well, and I should not judge people. That was, but I mean, it's like really, it only matters what you think about yourself.
Right.
Doesn't matter what anybody else thinks, really, and what's healthy for you. And if you're going to a doctor to have some kind of surgery or having something and they're wanting you to lose weight for it, sometimes their opinion plays into it for that. But other than that, your idea, the weight that you want to stay at and be at is what's healthy for you. And I'm kind of looking back. My video keeps stopping. Oh, I hate that.
I know.
Somebody else said. It
was really fun. Free too. Yep. I don't mind the ads too. I mean,
sometimes they're good.
I mean, they're like what, like a minute and a half long at the most. So.
Okay. Is there more questions, Brittany? I think I might have seen another question or two.
Guys, if we missed your question, please let us know, but I really don't think that we did.
I see 7 questions now. Nope.
Yeah, we did all of those.
Okay.
What
would be a reason we're not losing weight? And after 2 years post RNY, is it still possible to make go weight? Did we talk about that one? Oh yeah, we did.
Yeah, we did.
Okay. Well, I think we're at 6:15, so we're a little over, and so I don't have anything else. I want to share. I'm going to share my screen real quick and go back to just telling you a couple more things real quickly that I wanted to share before we get off here. And we talked about the gift basket, and Erin showed you that. To win a free prize, all you got to do, guys, is comment. So comment on the chat box there if you haven't already for your chance. Visit our social media pages. I'm repeating what Erin said, but go to Facebook or Instagram for those of you who may have joined later. We have the 12 Days of Christmas, lots of great prizes, lots of great things. I'm going to also show you 2 more things. I'm going to go to our ProCare website to show you where our 12 Days of Christmas are there and show you where you can get free samples if you haven't already. And then I also want to show you how to follow us. To kind of continue to be in on these support groups and be a part of our group, our community of sharing. So I'm going to stop sharing there, and I'm going to go back and share now. I'm going to share first our crowdcast. Let me go to that. Okay.
And I'm actually, while you're doing that, I'm going to share the 12 Days of Christmas, or 12 Days of Giveaways, sorry,
okay,
on our website to just show you guys what some of the prizes were. And if, like I said, just follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, so you can always get more information about that, because it's still going on. So it's not over yet.
And I'll go to our page, Brittany, so you can kind of show them there too as well. Here's our ProCare on Crowdcast, the platform that you guys are currently on. If you go into the Crowdcast and you go to over here, this little channel, it says My Channel, or you can go, I think you can maybe search. See, mine is an administrative channel, so I'm not 100% sure, but I do know you can find us, ProCare Health channel, my channel, and basically there should be a follow button. So we got some followers already here, so people will get notifications. And here's some of our upcoming events. Cooking around the holidays, we're doing that this Saturday, me and Brittany, and we're going to have 4 recipes that we're going to be cooking right in front of you. Salmon, a salad, a spinach salad with a really unique dressing, and Brittany's making a really cool protein cake.
Yeah, it's really good. It's really, really good.
Oh, and Parmesan cauliflower.
Oh, yeah, that's it. Yeah.
We're going to be doing an interview with some podcasters coming up, some accountability things for the upcoming year, and creating a positive body image, meal prep made simple. These are all January topics.
I'm excited for the meal prep one.
Me too. I love meal prep. And rekindling your old passions and hobbies. So those are all coming up in January. And then I'm going to stop here and I'm going to go to our ProCare Health website. Takes me a second. I'm sorry, guys.
Nancy said thank you for all the great information, and Deb said thank you for a great presentation. So
thank you.
You're welcome, you guys. Yeah. We're happy that this one was a lot more active than the last one that we did, so that makes me happy.
Me too. It's so much more fun when people talk and show up.
It is. Yeah.
Here's the ProCare Health website. It's procarenow.com. If you go here on this first tab is all the products. So the multivitamins that ProCare has, they're known for their inexpensive one-a-day bariatric multivitamins, calcium supplements. Again, the dark chocolate is awesome, and then they also have the sea salted caramel, the cinnamon bun, and the dinner mint, and protein supplements right here. So we got all kinds of good stuff. And then here we're going to go over a free sample. So if you click on that, if you go under there, you can type in and get a free sample. Just put your information in. And then over here under this About Us, if you click here, these handouts for tonight is right here. You click there and look at there. You got your handouts for Eating for Life, which is for tonight. Here's our recipes for this Saturday. If you're able to make it with us, come and join us and watch us make these dishes. If you can't be here, there's the recipes. We also have all of some of our other handouts for other ones that are coming up. And then if you're interested in a flyer to print and share, we have those as well. For basically, that is a flyer on how to join our Crowdcast, our support groups. And I'm going to stop. Brittany, you go ahead and you tell me if there's anything else.
Nope, that's it. So Christine, actually, she said that I have my vitamins on auto ship, so I always miss the giveaways. Well, I'm really sorry. But so some of these giveaways though aren't like 15% off, and I think that's probably what you're talking about, is the ones that's automatically applied whenever you go onto the website and check out. So we do have a few other ones coming up too. Like tonight, if you watch and comment, we're going to win a $60 prize pack. I don't know if everybody saw that, but we did say that early on in this support group. So if you leave a comment, then you automatically will be entered into the into the drawing, and then we're going to pick a winner Monday morning, I believe. But you have until Sunday at midnight to enter. So if you're watching this after the fact, you can still comment. But
yeah.
So, but I promise you the last day is going to be huge. So make sure that you stay tuned for that. And I believe that is on 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. December 21st is the last day. It'll be worth it.
Yay.
Trust me.
Yay.
And I hope you win, Christine.
She needs to.
She does.
Just because she misses the giveaways.
She deserves it.
And it looks like Serena says, I take the multivitamins since 2 weeks post-op, January 15, 2019. Wonderful. Wonderful. I hope you, I guess you like them. Otherwise you wouldn't be taking them. I know I love my favorites is the probiotic multivitamin, just because it has the probiotics along with it. But
oh, and that's another thing. So we have probiotics and we have prenatals too.
For those of you who might be getting pregnant, is there anybody out there getting pregnant? Lots of time indoors these days. Anyways, okay, well, I think we're going to head out. We want to say siesta to everybody and thank you. And everybody have a great night and take care. Happy holidays as well.
Yes, happy holidays to everybody and happy New Year.
Okay, bye-bye.
Okay, bye.